Hi, my name is Greg Anderson, and I lead North American commercial operations for Denali, a WNS company. Over the last 20 years, I've been fortunate to work with supply chain and procurement teams at many leading companies to help them improve their operating performance. In that time, I've learned a lot about what works and maybe more about what doesn't. One observation I've made is that the most effective procurement organizations closely align their team's objectives and strategies with the company's vision and strategic objectives. It seems simple enough, but I've worked with several companies where procurement was so myopically focused on their own initiatives and KPIs that they lost touch with the goals of the business. On the other hand, I've observed that when procurement links their objectives and strategies with the broader business goals, the real magic happens. Procurement is elevated from a back office cost cutter to a trusted business advisor. I'm going to share 3 pro tips about how procurement teams can better align themselves and their activities with the company objectives to deliver more impactful business outcomes. My first tip is understand your company's business objectives at a functional level. Every business establishes near-term and long-term corporate objectives to improve financial performance and increase the enterprise value of the company. These are business outcomes your company is striving to achieve. One example of an outcome is, let's expand market share by 10%. Very broad. Companies then develop objectives at the functional level to achieve those corporate objectives. These functional level objectives are more specific and defined. For marketing, they have an objective of successfully launching 3 new products. That's going to help expand market share, right? And the functional level is where procurement needs to get engaged to understand the specific objectives and help shape the supply strategies that are going to be used to achieve those objectives. So how procurement gets engaged brings me to my second pro tip. Pro tip 2 is build trusted advisor relationships with your business stakeholders. Category managers should strive to become trusted advisors to the functional business stakeholders they support. And trust is not a given. Trust is something you have to earn by investing in your relationships. When I was a consultant, a couple of my mentors, who should both be in the Consulting Hall of Fame, if there is such a thing, explained the trust equation to me, and I've never forgotten it. Trust equals credibility times intimacy divided by risk. So to build trust, category managers have to be credible with your stakeholders, demonstrate deep knowledge of the categories you're managing, know your company's spend in detail, understand the market trends that are happening in your category, key suppliers, and have a point of view on the future developments. In other words, be an expert. Secondly, to build trust, you have to become intimate. And by this, I mean more closely acquainted and familiar with your stakeholders. Be human. Spend time with the stakeholders. Get to know their interests, their objectives, understand their requirements. Bring them new ideas and opportunities, and demonstrate your interest in their personal success. Lastly, building trust requires category managers to reduce risk for stakeholders. Your stakeholders need to feel that you're a safe pair of hands. You're not going to push them to take unnecessary risks that could impact their performance or their career. They need to know they can count on you to look out for their best interests. And if there is any risk, your neck should be on the line right next to theirs. It takes time to build trust. And category managers have to have the capacity to rise above the day-to-day firefighting and work on these stakeholder relationships. But once you've done that, once you've established yourself as a trusted advisor, you should partner with stakeholders to develop the strategies to achieve their functional objectives. Sticking with our specific example, we're going to help marketing select an innovative digital marketing agency to develop a killer social media strategy for the new product launches. Those product launches are part of helping us drive an expansion in market share of 10%. So it's all tied together. Once you've developed that strategy, it's time now for pro tip number 3, and that is to deliver results. Understand their functional objectives. You develop the strategies, working closely with your stakeholders, and now you got to deliver on those strategies and bring real results to them. Here it's imperative that you focus on execution. Procurement execution starts with building a strong portfolio of projects to meet the functional objectives across the many stakeholders and categories your team is supporting. These portfolios of projects should be rolling in nature, and you update them with new projects as others are completed or canceled. Things can change. Think COVID-19 and how much that's changed things. And it's far better to have a surplus of projects to hit the numbers and deliver on the results than having just enough to achieve those outcomes. So once you get those portfolios established, the projects should be prioritized, resources deployed to execute the strategies that you agreed to with your stakeholders. From an execution standpoint, having the right procurement operating model is very important to ensure projects are completed on time and are producing the desired results. You have to have adequate capacity on your team and have the right oversight and tracking mechanisms in place to make sure those results are delivered on. At this point, the stakeholders are really counting on you to deliver those results. You've worked hard to get their trust, and they're going to be really engaged to see how the strategies are playing out. Use this extra level of engagement as a real opportunity to strengthen your relationships with stakeholders further and continue to build on their trust in procurement. Hey, thanks for your time and attention. I hope these tips are helpful. Feel free to post any comments and connect with me on LinkedIn. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you.